Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my brother's wedding to attend the wedding of my sister-in-law instead? Hey, I, 25F, moved to France from my home country of Sweden 7 months ago after me and my husband, 27M, got married. I've never really got along with my parents. My dad had a temper growing up and would often shout at me and demean me, and my mom was very emotionally manipulative, constantly finding reasons to argue with me and point out things I've done wrong, even often being critical of my appearance. Meanwhile, my brother, 24M, was treated like the golden child that couldn't do anything wrong. On the other hand, my husband's family have always been so kind and welcoming to me, and to be honest, they feel like more of my family than my own. Since the move, things have only gotten worse. My mom insists calling every 2 days, and we're often on the phone for like an hour at a time. She's obviously upset that I chose to leave home, and I do feel guilty for not being able to help around the house like I used to. She's always insisting we travel to Sweden for any event, and since we moved to France 7 months ago, I've already traveled to Sweden 5 times, which is really stressful and expensive. When I do go home, she's really critical of me and my husband, and even his family. So, onto what has happened recently. My sister-in-law announced her engagement and asked me to be a bridesmaid. I was so excited. My husband was also asked to be a groomsman. She told us the dates for the wedding next summer, and we had no plans for then, so it was perfect. When my mom called me, video call, I told her because I was excited, but she just went silent and clearly looked upset, so I started speaking with my dad. Fast forward to recently, I traveled back to Sweden to see my family for Easter. During dinner time, my brother announced his own engagement. I was and am so excited for him. Later on that day we were talking about dates, and he and his fiancée had nothing in mind yet. I said me and my husband would be available whenever. The only date that doesn't work is the weekend of my sister-in-law's wedding. My mom butted in then and said that it depends on venues and things, but that they would try. So, I got a text in our family group chat yesterday from my brother announcing the dates to us. Apparently they all went to a venue and picked out the date together, and they told me that the dates are the same dates as my sister-in-law's wedding. Like, same day and everything. I was devastated. I wasn't thinking straight, and I told them I wouldn't be coming, that I said the date doesn't work. My mom then sent a horrible message, saying that it doesn't matter, and that I'm being selfish, and that my brother's wedding is more important to them and that I had to choose what is more important for me. I told her that if I have to choose, then I choose to go to my sister-in-law's, and she hasn't responded. Now I'm really worried I've made the wrong decision. So, I really want to know, am I the asshole? Take a big step back, read this post, and try to see how they treat you from an outsider perspective. The scheduling conflict is made up by them. Have a talk with your brother and ask why they chose the one weekend you couldn't participate. Hear what he has to say, and say you're very sorry he chose to exclude you from his wedding. Stop talking to your mom. Even without this wedding silliness, you needed a break from your mother. You were letting her run your life. Visiting home every month is insane. Her demanding to talk to you for hours is also insane. If you keep contact with her, stop telling her things. By telling her things, you also give her the power to ruin things. If you must, tell her things after they've happened. Not the asshole. You already committed to the other wedding. They knew that was the only date you'd be unable to make work. They did this on purpose to test you, sounds like. Not the asshole. You already told them these dates are not available for you, yet still they choose them. Now they are trying to guilt trip and gaslight you into coming. With what you wrote here, they are a manipulative bunch and only care about themselves. You should consider going NC or LC with them. Go to your SIL's wedding. And stop letting your mother hijack your time by keeping you on the phone for an hour at a time. And stop running back to Sweden so often. By jumping to obey every time they clap their hands, you're telling them you are still your puppet. If you don't stop their behavior, they will keep it up. Not the asshole. It sounds like your mom did this on purpose. Your mother is desperately trying to stop you from having a life separate from her. It's time to be honest and let her know she's only going to end up pushing you away. Let her know if it's important for you to be at the wedding, they will choose a new day. Not the asshole, but you just need to drop the rope with your family. You are never going to get the validation or respect you are looking for, and it's just a waste of your time and emotional energy. Go and be in your sister-in-law wedding and don't give your parents or brother another moment of thought. Am I the asshole for banging on my roommate's door for night activities? I, F22, am currently attending college, and to cut costs, I moved in with someone, F21. While we get along fine, I wouldn't really call us friends. We have different lifestyles, but we respect each other's boundaries for the most part. Now, onto the issue. Her boyfriend basically lives with us. I honestly don't have a problem with that. He's chill, keeps the fridge stocked, even if it costs me a few yogurts. Disappointed heartbreak, so no complaints. But here's the thing. They have the deed at least once a day, and they make no effort to be quiet about it. I'll come home around 7 p.m. and hear her screaming like she's giving birth. Still, I usually let it slide. The real problem is, this doesn't just happen during the day. Every couple of nights, they wake me up with their activities. Last night was the last straw though. I had a big exam the next morning, and at 4 a.m. they were going at it full volume. I got up and banged on the door like I was about to break in. She came out and asked what my problem was, and I told her straight up that the deed cannot be that good for her to be screaming like a monkey at 4 a.m., and that she needs to STFU because I have an exam at 9 a.m. After my exam, she confronted me and said I was disrespectful to both of them and that she has a right to do whatever she wants in her own room. I told her I don't care if they sow the deed or not, but I do care when it keeps me from sleeping, especially when I'm paying rent too. She stormed off all pissed, and now I'm sitting here overthinking whether I was out of line or if I'm just an asshole. So am I the asshole? No, not the asshole. While yes, more communication should have been had. Number one issue for most people I've noticed, she should also have the respect and decency to at least be quieter. Like there's literally so many ways this could have been prevented in their end, but they just didn't care. I'd say setting up some ground rules for the house is your next best bet. Not the asshole. She was inconsiderate to you. Fun story. Was in Cannes, France for work in 1988. Was stuck in a seedy hotel for a few nights. Tiny rooms, flashing neon sign, the whole bit. It was late and the couple in the other room were going at it forever. Respect to the dude. After a while I say, enough, to myself. I got up, banged on the locked door between the rooms and said, be quiet or let me in. He laughed, translated for her and both said, sorry. Not exactly the answer I was hoping for, but it did get quiet and I got a decent night's sleep. Nah, not the asshole. That shit can get annoying. My dog wakes me up at 4 a.m. now post-college and I prefer that over a roommate banging waking me up, so that's saying something. Like Mark Twain always said, get dirty before 12:30. Not the asshole. People need to understand the world doesn't revolve around them and their sex lives. Most the time people are overtly loud when they have roommates is because they partially get off on other hearing, like a form of exhibitionism. It's gross and inconsiderate. Let that be the last straw and keep standing up for yourself and don't back down. Purchase a ball gag and hang it on her doorknob. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. It is rude to make a load of noise in the middle of the night, for any reason. Sex isn't a get-out-of-jail card. She can have quiet sex, have noisy sex at her BF's place, or save it for a more sociable time. However, screaming like a monkey, and STFU are disrespectful ways to provide feedback that the noise is unacceptable. Am I the asshole 8 months pregnant, and my partner's sister is pressuring me to take in their sick mom? Am I the asshole for not wanting the responsibility of taking care of my mother-in-law? I'm 8 months pregnant, working from home, and living with my boyfriend in a 3-bedroom townhome. One room is ours, one is for the baby, and one is a guest room. His mom is currently staying with another family member, but that person is no longer willing to care for her due to the demands of her illness and her difficult behavior. Now, my boyfriend's sister, who lives out of state and works full-time in Chicago, is pressuring us to have their mom move in with us, claiming we have the space. She's not offering any real help, just insisting that their mom has nowhere else to go, and that we should step up. The thing is, I'm about to give birth, and I'll be responsible for a newborn basically alone most of the day, since my boyfriend works outside the home. My boyfriend has actually spoken to his sister multiple times and made it clear that this setup isn't realistic, especially with a newborn on the way. He's been supportive and has stood up for me, but his sister keeps pushing the idea like we're the only option. I don't have the capacity, emotionally, physically, or logistically, to care for a newborn and a sick adult who needs help with daily routines and appointments. I'm not a nurse, and I'm not okay starting our new family and relationship with this massive responsibility suddenly dropped on me. It feels unfair that I'm being cornered into this just because I'm nearby and working from home. I want to be compassionate, but I'm also trying to protect my health, my baby, and the foundation of our future as a family. Am I the asshole for feeling this way or for not wanting to have this responsibility? Edit. I appreciate everyone's response. Additional details I'd like to add. 1. My boyfriend and I have been looking into home care for her, along with facilities to put her because nobody in their family is stepping up. We are waiting to talk to her doctor. 2. The mom lives about an hour and a half from us. 3. She expects us to take her to appointments despite us living this far. 4. The mom visited us this past weekend and having her here for 2 days only was a lot of work. 5. We have a 2-story place, she couldn't even walk up the stairs. 6. She has certain dietary restrictions. 7. Overall, I'm glad everyone agrees with me. I feel more strongly to stand on the answer, no. I have to think for me and my baby. Not the asshole. She should either hire a home healthcare provider to take care of her mom or put her in a skilled nursing facility. You're going to have your hands full with an infant within the month. Not the asshole, and what a ridiculous thing for someone to expect. Why isn't sister taking her in? Have they discussed care facilities? Not the slightest bit of an You're about to bring a whole new life into the world. Your plate is already overflowing. It's wild how people assume working from home means unlimited time and energy. Your priority right now is your health, your baby, and maintaining some peace in your home, not taking on a role that's basically a full-time caregiver. If the sister's that concerned, she can start looking into proper care options or step up herself. Not the asshole, no, is a complete sentence. Tell her under no circumstances will you be taking care of her sick mother and will no longer be entertaining this conversation. She wants you to because she doesn't want to, but a newborn is a lot of work and you have sleep deprivation to contend with. It's just not fair on you or the sick mother, who will not be properly cared for because you won't have the capacity. So, quit responding to his sister. The answer is no. This is a terrible situation for BF's family. Sounds like their mom needs to be placed in a care facility. You work from home, clear out the guest room and make it your office. Boom, no room. Am I the asshole for not wanting to grab our food from the DoorDasher? This may sound silly, but I'm fuming a little and need to know if I was out of line. Tonight my husband and I ordered out for dinner, and when I saw the name of our DoorDasher, I recognized it. We live in a small town, and this is a man who frequents my work. I asked my husband if he could grab the food from the DoorDasher, because I didn't want the guy to know where I lived. My husband immediately got cagey about my question. He has recently been acting jealous whenever I speak of men in basically any way, and the way he responded to my question really bothered me. He fought me on why I wouldn't want this guy to know I lived here. I'm like, for one, I'm in my PJs, and for two, I just don't want a random dude that comes into my work to know where I live. Why is that weird? And he defends this man that he doesn't know, saying he's just trying to do his job. I got so frustrated I walked away. He said he wasn't trying to fight, but to me this is a safety thing. For reference, I'm a cashier in a small store in our small town. He would definitely recognize me. He also doesn't know my name, we don't wear name tags at work, so he wouldn't have known it was my house from my order. So Reddit, am I the asshole for asking my husband to grab our food from the DoorDasher? Update. This isn't really much, but last night he did apologize for making me mad. After reading your comments, I did bring it back up and made sure he understood why I got upset, why I asked him to do it in the first place, and how it was purely a safety thing. He said, I know, that's why I apologized, and I said, I know you apologized for making me mad, but do you actually understand where I was coming from? And he said he does, but that he apologized already, and that I hadn't apologized for snapping at him. I said, I'm sorry for snapping at you when you made me feel like I was doing something wrong when I asked for help in a situation that made me feel unsafe. I really appreciate everyone here's takes and putting things into perspective for me. We've been having a lot of spats like this, and I feel like I'm going insane half the time because he's treating me like I've done something wrong, and I don't think I have. I know there's a lot going on in my relationship that I need to figure out, but thank you guys for making me realize I wasn't crazy with this one. Heartsuit. Not the asshole. Your husband is problematic. If you say you don't feel safe, he should want to help you feel safe. He's weird about men because he is not acting normally. There are many stories all over social media of food delivery drivers trying to enter homes, harass women, and act inappropriately. Your safety should be far more important than his defense of a man he doesn't know. I think everyone has covered your question, but I have one of my own. Could he have just left it on the porch? I ran an outpatient for anger management and sex offenders. Ordered a pizza from a local spot, and one of my clients rocked up with the pizza. All I had to say to my ex-husband was, please get that order. He was used to me recognizing people and also not wanting them to know where we lived. I didn't say a thing other than that. Not the asshole. And multiple red flags here. The jealousy, the instant defensiveness, the demand for a valid reason, not understanding your boundaries, not being concerned with your safety or comfort. Who knew so many issues could be exemplified in such a simple scenario? To clarify, I put valid in quotations because it's weird he needed a good enough reason at all. I'm usually a do-it-myself person, sometimes to the point of stubbornness, but if I'm curled up cozy on the couch and just say, hey, could you grab that? My partner just gets up and does it, and I would do the same for him. This is bizarre behavior that seems to signify deeper issues. Not the asshole. Why are you married to a man who wants to start fights by defending a stranger and wanting you to feel unsafe? Your husband is absolutely clueless about the safety issues women face on a daily basis. We have to be constantly vigilant. Educate him.